Good evening, everyone. It is Duquesity from the Evolving Woman Safe Space Conversations. I'm super excited at our conversation tonight. The Evolving Woman platform is all about supporting the modern woman through every season of her life, all of the transitions that we as women go through. And so tonight we're talking about one of the seasons that remain with us throughout our entire lives, actually, and that's being in romantic relationships or the idea of romance and love and a sense of belonging with somebody else and the two becoming one, all that sort of good stuff, the things that we watched as little girls. And so tonight I'm just happy to have this conversation with a young man that I truly respect. I believe that he is open-minded, very opinionated. He is not a yes person. He speaks his real truth, and I appreciate that. And I think it's a great flavor for our conversation tonight. So I want to go ahead and bring our guests on tonight. We are speaking with Mr. Cohen Fox himself. Cohen, welcome to the Evolving Woman Safe Space Conversations.
Thank you
Could
so
you
much.
tell our guests just a little bit about you?
Well, my name is Cohen Fox. I'm 32 years of age. I'm getting used to saying that since my birthday just passed on the 2nd of August. Um, I'm an IP broadcast video engineer. Love music. Getting married this year, so it's a lot. But I think that's a good gist of me in a
Okay,
small bubble.
okay, Cohen. So I heard this married word just now. We're gonna get
Yeah.
to that just a little bit later. But as little girls, we grew up watching fairy tales. We grew up with Cinderella losing her shoe and Prince Charming coming to every woman in the village to fit this shoe, and Cinderella went happily ever after. And then we had the story of Rapunzel who let her hair down in the tower, and her prince climbed up the tower on her hair and rescued her. So from little girls, and those are old school my age, right? So there
Mhm.
there are more recent ones like Ariel in The Mermaid who got legs because she wanted, to go on land to love this guy. So over time, the fairy tales have progressed, but the storylines
Mhm.
have been basically the same. That there is a damsel in distress, and there is a knight in shining armor who comes to the rescue. Or even in the case of Beauty and the Beast, right? She fell in love with this beast. It's all this romance and happily ever after. So while we were little girls and we were thinking about this romance and dreaming about our weddings and thinking about this love relationship, what were little boys thinking about back then?
Boy, uh, action figures, cartoons. Um, now I'll be honest. For me, it was a mixture of both. I think mainly because of my musical influence. Well, music that influenced me. On one side, when I went around my mom, she would be playing a lot of love music, Whitney Houston, Tony Braxton, Joe, stuff like that. And then on my dad's side, I'm growing up around him being a singer. I would always hear stuff like BB Winans and stuff like that. So I think that kind of molded me to be a little more in touch with the romantic side. But yeah, for in general, I think it's the same thing. Like action figures, just dreaming of different jobs you may want to do. Anything that seems typical of a little boy to in our mindset to be manly. I guess that would be what it is.
So in your opinion, then little boys weren't dreaming about being Prince Charming.
Not really. Not really.
So I see we were setting ourselves up quite early.
Yeah.
Um, so I love the choice of music that you spoke about from your mom and your dad. It's nice, soft, connecting music,
Hmm.
which help you to nurture some of that emotional side of you. As you think about women and men, what would you say are some of the common myths that women believe about men?
Well, I would say partly what you started off with, the Disney fairy tale, because it really isn't realistic. And I think it can be damaging on both sides because now women have this expectation of this, like you said, Prince Charming, that'll come and just rescue them. And in some cases, the prince didn't even know how the woman looked. He never heard her talk. It was just off of her physical beauty, right? So where that impacts women, you have certain beauty standards that these Disney princesses already had, and that's instilling in them. So you may have some girls that don't match that and cause them to have low self esteem. Right. Outside of that, it doesn't teach girls how to develop an actual personality. You think as though, okay, once the guy is attracted to me, I don't have to do anything else. And then on the guy side, is damaging because if you go through that, if you grow up looking at that, you really don't know what type of women to go after because you're just looking at the physical. You don't know that, hey, a woman should be able to reciprocate certain things that you're willing to give her as well. You know what I mean? So I think the Disney thing is a myth. I think that's a major one. Um, I'm not sure if you want me to give any more, but yeah, that's the first one that came to
We
mind
are
since
we
we're
are
talking about it.
having an open conversation, and we're really talking about the things that women believe. And I love that you, so no holds barred, right? I
Mm-hmm.
love that you brought up this conversation about self-esteem, and that these Disney princesses, and let's just be honest, these Disney princesses back in the day, they were mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
They had long, beautiful hair.
Mm-hmm.
And even after they had come out of, like, Cinderella, when she came out of that raggedy state, she went into this royal state, and she was dressed up, and she was, she was this royalty all of a sudden, and she looked a certain way. And so
Mm-hmm.
today, women actually chase a certain look.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that something that men look for? Like, how important is that fairy tale look, would you say, for men?
I don't think it's very important. I think it's almost like, like if you're self conscious about something, you go the extra mile to cover up or compensate for that. And I think that's why you have so much women actually going under the knife to get their body done. You have so much women that they will not leave the house without their face being beat. And the more you hear men talk about it, we really don't care for makeup. Like, because it's almost like a Halloween costume, especially if that drastically changes your physical appearance. I feel as though makeup should enhance, not change. So it is. eh, I don't like makeup.
Okay, so
like a
you
little of it is okay,
okay, okay,
right?
okay,
But
okay.
it's mm-mm.
All right. So, guys, as you're watching and you're listening to this conversation, please drop in chat what you believe some of the myths are that women believe about men or men believe about women. Let's hear from you. Let's hear what your thoughts are about the self esteem issue and if it's really rooted back to some of those fairy tales, right? So,
Mhm.
Cohen has openly shared that he's not a makeup person. I'll tell you, my husband is also not a makeup person. Usually, if I get made up for an event or if I have to do filming or whatever, and I put makeup on, he'd be like, okay, when's my wife coming home? Right? Which means like take that stuff off, right? So he's not really a makeup type person. So I gather that there are a lot of men. So are we doing it for men or are we doing it for other women? What do you think?
Hmm. I think both, to
Okay.
be honest. Like, I think women are naturally in competition with each other, even if they don't want to say it. It happens. Like, I don't know why that is per se, but I know it happens, right? And I feel as though the women who say, "Oh well, I get dressed like this, I put on this makeup for me, not for you," meaning not for men, that's a lie. If you see like a lot of pictures that women have, like let's say Instagram and different things like that, if men stop, like let's say for a week, men don't like or react to any picture, especially exposing your body or anything like that, they would stop because it's the attention. If
Right,
it's for you, you could just look in the mirror. You don't have to put it online.
right,
So that part of it I never understood. It's like it's okay to do things for attention to a point. Why lie about it?
right,
Part of the reason that guys want nice cars, part of the reason why we work so hard to make money and stuff like that, is either because partly for our own self, but it's also to attract certain types of women. We know that there's nothing wrong with that, so I don't understand why women try to cover it up. It's like we know the truth. Like, don't do that.
Awesome. So we have a Facebook user. I can't see her name. If you please make sure that you give StreamYard permission to use your name, saying, wow, great topic, good evening. And we have another Facebook user. Chirac Taylor, saying that she's loving the conversation so far. So, as we talk about makeup and doing things for attention, I've often said to my best friend that I believe makeup and filters and
Hmm.
weave from the devil.
I think so too. I
Because
completely agree with you.
it trans like sometimes I watch these makeup videos and it changes the entire person. You're no longer the color that you were. Like you look like a totally different person. And so when you take all of that off now, after you've dated this guy for a while and he comes by the house and you're not no longer made up in all of your glory, like how does that
Hmm.
impact a man to see like, oh, that's different?
I, depending on the level of makeup you have on, I wouldn't even say anything to you, to be honest. Because that self esteem thing that's going to become an issue for me too if we get in a relationship. So it's like, why wouldn't? And I don't think I understand that either. Like, why would you put on that amount of makeup to change how you look? And then you want to get serious with the guy. Eventually, he's going to have to see the real you. You know what I mean? So if you that, I don't know. I guess someone would have to give their logic on it, because unless they're trying to, in a sense, trap the guy first. It's like, okay, you ready your feelings for me? Now I can let you see the real me. So you can't go nowhere. And it's like, nah, that don't work like that.
Ladies, as you're watching, let us know in the comments, please, why you believe that women wear so much makeup. In your opinion, why are they wearing makeup to attract men? It's the makeup, it's the eyelashes, it's the weave, it's the bleaching, all of that sort of stuff. Do you believe that women are doing that to attract men, or do you believe that they're doing it for their own self esteem, and does it really help? So we'd love to see what some of your comments are. So when we move on from the makeup now, because the makeup is superficial, like you said, like the
Mhm.
car is superficial. Yes, if you purchase a certain type of car, you're gonna attract a certain type of girl. Like they like
Yeah.
some women like fast cars, some women want to be seen in flashy cars. They believe a guy has money when he has a flashy car. Personally, I believe he broke because he paying the bus. That's my personal opinion. Um,
Right.
but when it comes to that personality, right, the personality of the woman, my Grammy used to tell me all the time that beauty comes from within, and we allow people to see the true beauty of who we are through our personality. What are some of the challenges that you think men are experiencing seeing the personality of the women that they date?
Hmm. Honestly, women don't have any game. Like, and yeah, let me get rid of this one. Women don't have no game, so it's like a lot of times it's hard to get to know that side of women, because most of the movies, society in general, just shows them, hey, you just have to look attractive. So one, women don't approach men for the most part. I think that's kind of changing now, where they don't have a problem initiating, even if the guy after that pursues, but they'll be the ones to say something first. But it's I think a part of it is too, some may be scared. There's a lot of vulnerabilities even in showing someone your flaws. So in a sense, it's almost like women feel as though they have to keep this perfect facade for guys to be attracted or to stay interested or anything like that. So, and then also the type of friends they keep around them too. A lot of girls put on just for their friends.
Wow.
So even their friends, like you will see where there may be one person around their friend, but around the guy that they like or they're in a relationship with, they're a completely different person. So sometimes trying to control that balance can give some women a hard time, really. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I see Raquel Edwards is saying that she think it's a bit of both, the makeup thing, where do it
Yep.
for us, we do it for the women, and she's agreeing with something that I said. She said I agree with you. So when it comes to personality, though, how are men experiencing women through conversation? Because I like that you're sharing that women have these different personalities, and it's true, right? Depending
Mhm.
on where we are, who we're with, like we adapt to the environment. It's what I call being a chameleon, right? We fit
Mhm.
into the environment. And I believe personally that when you have a strong sense of who you are, when you go into an environment, who you are does not change, right? But
Hmm.
you have to be grounded in who you are, know what you are about, and be so self assured that you don't care, like whatever, right?
No.
So when it comes to being a conversationalist, when it comes to being engaging, when it comes to listening and talking to you, um, how has that been in your dating experience overall?
Overall, it's been a mixture of stuff, and I think we'll end up going a little deeper into it. Um, I've been on a few dates, right, where let's say we're talking about ourselves or introducing ourselves, and most of the conversation would go from the women's side of it. It would be more about her accomplishments, right? And after we get past the point, let's say relationships come up, and she's the type that doesn't believe that women should pay for anything or anything like that, then you bragging about your accomplishments meant nothing inside the conversation. If you get what I mean, like it sounds good, but if I'm going to get in a relationship with someone and I don't benefit from whatever they're talking about, that's not going to give you a higher value in my mind. You know what I mean? So there's some that go off their accomplishments because that's them. That's all they have to give. That's they gave their life to that. And then they have others who will just focus on how they look and fish for compliments. Like you have to keep complimenting them. Um, and then you have the rare ones like y'all could crack on each other, great personality. She could talk about whatever. If it's a topic where both of you don't agree to a point, you could agree to disagree and still have laughs and stuff like that. So I think it's a great medium with that. Now, how I would find out those things, one of the things I like to do is introduce music. I think that's a very easy segue into, in a way, kind of finding out the likes and dislikes of persons, and that's what I use a lot of times. I literally did not keep talking to a girl because she did not like R&B. It's like this that don't make no sense. Like, one, why you hate R&B? It's literally love music. So it's like I rather just not deal with it. If you and if you only listen to like dancehall, I ain't the type. Let me be honest.
So I see Raquel Edwards is saying you have to know your worth, know who you are, just command the room because confidence is silent. I love
Mhm.
that. And she is just saying, to be yourself, be beautiful. So be beautiful. And she is also saying R&B it is.
Yeah.
All right. So men want conversation, contrary to what women
Yeah.
believe, right? Because some women believe that men are more interested in their physical appearance. They trying to bad them, so they got to look right. They got to say the right things. They got to play the game. They got to get their stuff first before they could give up that
Mm.
stuff. But what the dude looking for, and so men actually look for a connection through communication. Is that what you're sharing with me?
Yeah, we do, to be honest, because it kind of categorizes the girls that you would take serious versus the ones that you, the lack of a better word, just be a jump off, to be honest. If I
Okay.
can't converse with you, I can be around you all day. And no, you have to go home eventually. So, yeah, a lot of guys categorize women by
Uh-huh.
if they can actually converse and
Okay.
hold a conversation.
Well, I think, women have this belief that if they could lay it down good, right, they got to do it,
Oh my
right?
God. That's funny because I don't know one woman who think their stuff ain't the best. And so it's like, what are you comparing it to? You know what I mean? So, and then a lot of times women actually are trash in bed. Their God given sexual parts may be good, but their performance isn't. But they wouldn't know because guys lie.
Ouch.
A lot of guys
Ouch.
lie. They lie because now if I tell you the truth, like if I'm talking to a girl, right, and we were intimate. Now, if I would want to get it again, because it doesn't have to be the best for me to want it again, right? I'm not gonna go there and say, "Buddy, I ain't gonna lie, like you really lazy," and like you can tell you don't know what you're doing, but we could work on it. Like that woman is pride alone. She would not call me back. She would not answer anything from me because a lot of times you can't handle that. If everyone around you, your friends, family, especially guys who are trying to hit on you, sugarcoating everything, you're not going to be able to take someone being bluntly honest with you, even if it isn't rude. You know what I mean? So yeah, the sex alone
But
may trap some guys on that.
does
Huh?
that separate the mature woman from the immature woman though? Because again, it comes down to not being selfish, and that it's not just about you. Like, yeah, you could think you have the wickedest slam,
Yeah.
but like if you are in partnership, if you are in marriage, if you're with someone
Hmm.
and their pleasure rating is different from yours, and you have that conversation that, hey, we could improve by doing certain things. So are you saying that women are looking for or men like women who are teachable?
In a sense, uh, to a point. Even if you, I wouldn't necessarily say teachable, to be exact. How I could put it, because certain stuff I want you to already know. To be honest, I don't want to deal with someone I have to go from scratch with, like that, like honestly, right? But once you can take some type of criticism, right? It doesn't even have to be where I lead you, okay, babe, do this, okay, do that, or whatever. But just saying, hey, we could try some other stuff, and then you be open to suggestions, if you get what I mean. Because sometimes I know some women might take teaching as, oh, I commanding you to do certain things. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a situation like that, but just be open to it. And I know that's a very hard conversation because your pride and ego on the line. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It really is.
Yes, yes, it is. So I think this is Raquel saying that women should have good standards and don't falter in their beliefs, don't compare. And also, she is saying that people are different and they like different things, which is why
Hmm.
conversations are important, right?
Yeah,
And she is also saying, I'm with you, bro, right?
yeah.
So when we talk about teachability, though, I'm referring also to not just sexually. I'm
Hmm.
referring to the overall participation in the relationship, because there are
Hmm.
times when we have disagreements, there are times when we have happy times, there are times when we're working together to achieve certain goals. Because once you decide you're gonna exclusively date someone, then
Hmm.
obviously you're working towards something. You're achieving some things together as a couple. It may not be immediately marriage in your future right there, but you begin to work more as a team.
Hmm.
What should women know about building that aspect of the relationship, the non-sexual aspect of the relationship? What do men look for? Are they looking for women to take them on dates, to surprise them, like the same things women want? Is that what men want? Like, what is it that men want from women in that perspective?
We want reciprocation, but it doesn't have to be in the form of you do exactly what I do. Like let's say for instance, you have a certain way you like me to do stuff. That's how to you I could prove that I feel like how I do. It's almost like the love languages thing. Learn your partner, right? So if I always take you out on dates, I may not necessarily like doing that per se. That may not get my rocks off to that point, but my lady likes it, so I'll treat her like that. So sometimes a lot of it is just showing appreciation. To be honest, I think that's the main thing. And then this kind of ties into the strong woman type of thing. Even if like you know for a fact you know more about this than the guy, or you feel as though there's a better way to do it, don't talk to a man in a condescending way. You know what I mean? That there's a way you can get your point across and even get him to do what you want him to do. But if you come at him in a direct, talking down this your child or employee type of way, he's going to be reserved now. And now it's more of a combative thing because now, okay, you questioning my manhood for one. You don't respect me. And even if I'm okay enough to say, you know what, I think I'd rather listen to what my woman have to say because she may know better. Now you put me in the defensive mode. It's like, I don't care if she's wrong or not. I ain't taking this. So sometimes women can tear down walls and build them up depending on how she talks to her guy too. I think that's one of the main things. So yeah, they would be the main
So
two.
you think men are open to that though? Are men open to being guided through the back door type of situation? Like not exactly, but
Mhm.
being guided to how to treat the lady, and
Mhm.
talking about the love languages, because not everybody knows about the love languages, and some people don't believe that they should
Mhm.
love their partner in their partner's love language. They believe they should love them in their love
In their
language,
own, yeah.
and that impacts the relationship as well.
Hmm.
So what are your thoughts about that?
I think you can build on top of it. I had an experience before in a past relationship, right, where um, the girl that I was with, she had a certain way she loved to receive love, I guess, whether it's gifts or anything like that, like her love language, right? But now we didn't have a direct talk about this. So now, initially, when people first get together, you're going to show love how you used to or what you know, right? What a lot of people end up doing, they shut down the way their partner shows love and they say, hey, I don't believe you really love me unless you're doing this. That's not going to cause someone to show love in any way. So let's say, for instance, your gift is, well, your love language is words of affirmation, but I like to buy you stuff. Still show appreciation for the stuff that I buy you while saying, hey babe, I love the stuff that you do, but I also like. So now I have a foundation. Instead of you tearing that down, you could build on
Yeah,
top of it. And I
yeah,
think a lot of people, that's my one pet peeve when dealing with love languages, because people tear down what their partner naturally does and try to force them to do what they feel they should be doing. You know what I
right,
mean? So yeah,
right.
that's
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. So I have Raquel saying that reciprocation is key and you must learn your partner's love language and move accordingly. She's
Mhm,
also saying that you are right. Don't be condescending. We have Sam saying that she agrees with Raquel. So we
mhm.
have some agreement here, all right? So learning love languages and showing appreciation for someone's natural love language while just reinforcing what yours is a more
Mhm.
gentle way of getting your partner to connect with you, and to show you love in a way that is meaningful to you, because women like the row, we like row.
You know what's also good about that? If you force your partner to love you in your love language, right? How do you know when they're just doing something because you told them to versus that's genuinely them showing how they feel? You
And
know,
that's the
so
question there.
because
That's
now if you say, "Oh well, I like when you affirm me," I'll just say it just to get you off my head, like
right,
just leave me alone. I saying it, but now how would you be able to tell? You have to
right.
learn, see how that person genuinely shows love, and build on top of it. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Man, Raquel says she loves to debate, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Once we could agree, disagree. Hey, that's the thing. We could agree
Just
to disagree,
agree to
and yeah,
disagree and respect both
uh
opinions.
huh.
Absolutely. So, when we say men and women come from different planets, because that's been I've
Oh
been
boy.
hearing that from I was a little girl. Men are from Venus, women are from Mars, or the reverse, or whatever. We come from different planes, and it's because, in my opinion, in my belief, women are more nurturing and emotional, and men
Hmm.
are more logical.
Hmm.
And so, when it comes to women and men being different, how is that showing up in your dating experiences, and how can we how can we begin to operate on the same planet?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever completely be able to operate on the same planet because women have a lot more hormones running through their body. So I can't really say it's them consciously doing everything all the time. But yeah, there is a big difference. There is a big difference with logical. Now, you do have some guys who are more emotional than some women, but of course, that's the minority, right?
Right.
They're on the smaller side of that large spectrum. So, but it's really hard sometimes because now I've had experiences before where I didn't want to come off like I said condescending or like I know more, but it's like you really ain't think this through. Like I I had to learn how to not come off like Brad, like you really being stupid right now. Like really this it's like you just react and like what were we going to do after this? You did not think this through at all. So it you have to learn soft skills, especially on both sides. And that is hard to do. That is hard to do, especially when you emotionally involved with a person. And like not it just being a random person you have to deal with, but you all actually have a romantic relationship. That creates even more of an imbalance because now certain things her friends or someone else may say that wouldn't get her riled up, coming from you, is completely different. So I feel like I'm rambling, but I can't find the right
You
words.
sound like you being safe. You sound like you being safe. Raquel said, yes, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. A very good book. She read that in college. We have Patricia saying that most men don't think things through, and I want to come
Oh,
back to that.
boy.
And Raquel is also saying that soft points, soft skills.
Yeah.
You are so correct. So let's go back to Patricia's statement that men don't think things through, right? And let's talk
Hmm.
about that a bit because in the moment when you are all lovey-dovey and it's all good, it's great. But when you have that interaction with this person as you're getting to know them now and you're seeing sides of them that you didn't see before, you never get 100% in a person, right?
Hmm.
And so you react from a logical standpoint, or you just react without thinking about, okay, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen down the road? So do you agree that men don't think things through?
it, in some instances, I wish he was on so we could ask her exactly in what stance he's meaning, like what perspective. Because in some cases, yes, I know some guys who don't think things through. A lot of times, it'll be something sexual. I don't know why, but I saw some of you may have heard the term or the phrase, "When you come to your senses." That is true. That is very true. Sometimes, like a woman that you may think is attractive when you actually turn on, the minute you come, that's not the case no more. I don't know why it's like that. I
Wow.
don't know why it's like that. I
Wow.
like I'm so serious.
Man, I want to talk about that. I really want to too. Wow. Listen, ladies, this is some serious
Boy.
stuff. I hope you're getting some insight here. So, a man could actually physically be attracted to someone when
Hmm.
he is horny, right?
Hmm.
And once he has had his ejaculation, he's
Yeah,
like,
I ain't
what?
interested no more.
What?
You have some guys who wouldn't even want to drop the girl home. I don't want to be seen with you. I am
Wow.
so serious because instinctively you desire sex. That's just I don't know why God made us like that, which is it's something I always used to bother with, right? Because even when we look at the Old Testament, New Testament, you had men that had all kind of other wives and concubines and stuff like that. But the rule was you can't touch nobody else's wife. Touch
Right.
whoever you want, but once they married, you can't touch them.
Right.
Then in the New Testament, Jesus decides, you know what? I can keep y'all with that instinct, but you only have one woman. It's like what we supposed to do now what already been instilled in us all these years, you know what I mean? So that desire will always be there, and a lot of times that horniness is almost equal to liquid courage, like that courage that you'll get when you drink in or anything like that, that is on that level or maybe even higher.
Wow.
You don't think, you know.
Wow.
So I know
So,
this may
ladies,
sound boy.
I hope you're hearing what Cohen is saying today. I see Patricia is saying that as a woman, she thinks more like a man, and she thinks it's because she's been independent for so long. And then we have Miss Dean. We must set up a meet and greet, getting all kind of insights. That's from Raquel. I also have Patricia saying because you realize the connection is merely physical.
Mhm,
Tanya is saying after being single so long, it'd be hard to trust and open up to a man. And that's
mhm.
correct. Raquel is saying that women are carrying on like men as well. They hitting and
Boy,
quitting,
that's a good
especially the younger generation. So,
boy.
ladies, I hope you're taking away some good information here because a man is attracted to you sexually doesn't mean that
Mhm.
he wants more than that from you. So
Yep.
there goes the game of taking your time, getting to know them. Yes, we have physical connections. Do you want to be a hit and dismiss, or do you want to take your time to really get to know this person and to see if y'all could gel before you give up that good stuff? Or like the younger generation, they're into
Mm.
relationships. They into hookups, right? Like
Boy.
a lot of the younger people now, they don't want to be
Yeah.
attached to relationships. They just want get off and go, right? And so Raquel is saying true, and Sharik or Sharak is saying
Mhm.
that's a serious thing. But women carrying on like men in this day and age as
Boy.
well, right? Which is
Yeah,
really true. They are
boy.
very aggressive
Hmm.
in pursuit of a man that they want. Now, Cohen, I know we're having a pretty good conversation. We have about 15 minutes left.
Mhm.
Now, would you say, because
Mhm.
in my opinion, I would say that in all of my dating life, I've not met many emotionally connected men.
Mhm.
I've met a lot of logical men, and I've met a lot of defensive men in conflict or in differences, or just when things aren't going right.
Mhm.
And so um I think a lot of it, we as women, we go back to our childhoods, and we can think about the trauma that we experienced. We can think about the things that we have been taught. We can think about our beliefs. So as a woman, of course, like my mom and my grandmother would teach me about cooking and taking care of a man, and they put more pressure on the women than they
Mhm.
did on the boys. You're running wild doing whatever, right? And so, but boys have boys who grow up to be men, they have trauma too, and one of their coping mechanisms is shutting down.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about
Right.
how men can open up a little bit more and not feel like they're losing their masculinity by being
It's,
softer in moments of discord.
you know what causes guys to feel like they're losing their masculinity with opening up? Um, and I guess any guy, whenever they see this posted or anything like that, the guys could chime in. I've not met one woman that I've been romantically involved with that I opened up to and it wasn't thrown in my face at some point. Not one.
Are you
So
serious?
none. I'm from my mummy to ex girlfriends to my now soon to be wife. Like it, certain things still happen now. She didn't take it to that point, else we wouldn't be here right now anyway, right?
Right.
But somehow it always gets turned back around in some way, shape, or form. So when you go through that, it's like me opening up. One, it ain't a good feeling to that point because now you at this weakest state that you in. You that strong facade ain't there. That masculine feeling ain't there. And then I literally let you see this side and they throw it in my face. I know none more. So
Right.
a lot of guys will be more stoic. Well, they should be, to be honest, because women don't like emotional men anyway. Like I know it sounds like, hey, I want a guy who, if he feeling this type of way, he'll come to me, tell me all this and that. No woman stays with an emotional man. You could show emotion, but if you're emotional, no woman wants you.
Why?
So
That's true.
boy, that's
We
the
want
part
a
of it.
rough do it.
But that's the part women don't say it. But when they say they want guys to be more emotional, they don't never say, "Hey, there's a quota to this though." Once I
Right.
see that, I ain't want it
Right.
no more. That's the
Right.
part that they don't say. But
Right.
as you learn, you have to remember that.
Wow. Wow. So I see, I think it's Raquel who is saying
Mhm.
that men need a little bit more feminine energy. It could be a turn off for men, which is one of the reasons women are single. And it's because we have to operate in our masculine energy a lot. Like a
Mhm.
lot of us have been, like, I was a single parent. Like I
Mhm.
married before I got divorced. I ended up having my kids as a single mom.
Mhm.
Their dads were very active, but I had the brunt of the responsibility. So you put on the hat to be the provider. You put on the hat to do everything. Like you doing both roles, and not both roles, but you being the provider and the protector, which is what I believe the man's role is
Mhm.
in that relationship. So now you've assumed his responsibility, and so you have all of this heaviness, all of these bricks and blocks on your shoulder, that you are in survival mode as a woman
Mhm.
now, and you have a lot of boundaries up because you've been hurt, and so
Mhm.
you're operating in your masculine energy, and a man doesn't want a masculine woman. But
Mhm.
how do you now not operate in your masculine energy when you have so much responsibility?
I would say the best advice I could give to women: you learn from your mistakes and you be cautious because of your experiences, but don't let it change you per se. Like you have to find a way where, let's say you're into your career, certain male traits are what's going to be better for business. That's just how it is,
Yeah,
right? And for you to get on top in any area, you fighting men too. So
yeah,
you have to be able to get past all that. But the important thing is you have to be able to separate that into your romantic life. You
yeah.
cannot go at this guy you like as if he's your competition for this position. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, and this for guys too. The more you go through certain relationships, especially younger, I honestly feel as though young guys fall harder in relationships with. Like I really feel like that. And as you go through that, and I don't want to say well matrix, but yeah, the veil is lifted from your eyes. Women are not angels. They have great qualities. They're more like, but this fairy tale that oh she's going to be the most kindest, the most this angel who can that is not the truth. Some women are ruthless. So you have to be able to learn, pick up certain characteristics and
Yeah.
notice, okay, I see certain things similar to what I went through. Let me watch out for that. But
Yeah.
still keep that romantic side to me. That's something I
Yeah.
had to learn.
Yeah.
That hopeless romantic thing actually died in me at one point. I wasn't
Yeah.
interested in no love music. I don't want nobody come around me. If you're my boy, and your girl come on to me, that's my problem. Like you, I went through all of that, and it's like, but I don't want the person that I married to have to go through paying for whatever these other women did to me.
Yes.
So I had to find myself again
Yes.
and learn from that where I can put my foot down. I have that aggression and that confidence, but I also have the soft side to where I can nurture her too, if you get what I mean. So I
Yes.
think
Because
women have to
women
learn
need
that too.
nurturing. And
Yeah.
that's a I love what you just said. It's in finding yourself,
Mm-hmm.
understanding how your past pain has triggered you, and seeing how over and over that past pain comes up and causes you to act or react in a certain way, and then
Mm-hmm.
heal from that. Because when you heal from the brokenness, when you heal from those bad relationships and people who took advantage of you and all that sort of stuff, then you're able to lower your boundary and then show vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
to the woman that you're with. And every woman wants a man that can show vulnerability. And I think right now, who said it? Who said it? Patricia is saying that we may not want an emotional man,
Mm-hmm.
but we want a man who is able to show vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
so when a woman wants vulnerability from a man, though, what does he feel?
That means they trust you.
Okay.
That's what it really is. You have to get them on to the point where like he's confident enough to where it's almost like you giving someone blackmail. Like you have this information on me. That's how it feels. And I trust you enough to tell you all of this. Do not throw it in my face. I don't care what we argue about. I don't care if you hate me right now. If we ain't talking, we're gonna make it. Do not just take your time before you throw out certain words. If you feel that angry, shut up, calm down, and then talk. Because a lot of times, words you say, you cannot take them back. Like,
I know, right? And listen, I am a mixer in Luthra, Long Island, and Actress. So when you see I get
oh
like
Lord,
when you see them puff start coming out my head, I'll be like, bruh, this beat is be on, right?
yeah.
And it takes understanding that it's a team approach, and like you
Hmm.
said earlier, what happens next, but both
Hmm.
partners, both people in the relationship have to be at that place where they say, okay, we have this situation today,
Hmm.
right? And we have to sort this out today. How do
Hmm.
we handle this today to maintain the integrity of the relationship so we don't destroy the relationship? And then you feel like you healing over and over and over and over
Yeah,
again
over
whenever
and
you have these
over.
arguments or these differences, which makes the connection in the relationship so difficult. So
Hmm.
I'm seeing, and it looks like it's Raquel saying that men don't know how to communicate. What do you feel?
Boy,
What do you feel about that?
I don't feel like women know how to communicate. This where we the men and Mars and Venus thing. We communicate differently. Men are straight to the point. I ain't have to. I'll tell you, okay, I don't like when you leave this out. I ain't going about how it made me feel the day when I come home and how it is. I'm not doing all that. I don't like this. That's all it is. Women, well, babe, I want to talk to you about something. Oh, geez, what it is now? Like, instead you come out, you ready create this like world where it seems like what you can say is bigger than what it is. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Just come on and say what you mean. If it really is that important, then say, hey, later on I want to talk to you about something. But women use those phrases for any little thing. It doesn't matter if hey, you leave the stove on. listen, they don't. I want to talk to you about something, but the stove being on, just say, babe, you left the stove on. You know what I mean? So it's men communicate more direct and more cutthroat, especially dealing with each other. Women even have a hard time communicating with other women.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So if women can't be direct with their friends, if women can't be direct with their parents or aunts or mommy or anything like that, they take that straight into dealing with men too. And it's like, no, just be direct. That is way
Okay.
easier.
Wow.
So
Wow. So I see Patricia is saying that men are not taught to communicate by talking. They're taught to man up. And that's when I see men man up, it's an indication that there is some inner work and some inner
mhm,
healing that needs to be done, because that man up is a protective mechanism, because
mhm,
they've been hurt before, and so now they have to showcase their power, and that could be something from childhood where they have been where women have been like ruling over them over, and like from they were kids they've not been allowed to really be a man or be a boy. But our women, we break men, I'm just going to say it, like we
mhm.
break men through parenting as well. And so when that man is manning up, it's not just what's happening in the moment, it's that, okay, I have to show up because in the past I was not able to show up.
Mhm.
What do you say to that?
Boy, for me, when I think about like how I grew up with my mom and stuff, talking didn't resolve anything. Let me put it like that. Talking was more of an annoyance because me thinking back, let's say I did something and my mommy was trying to punish me for it, she would not shut up about it. I don't care if I fix it. I don't care if I already did it right. I don't. It just run on and on and on. And sometimes I used to want to be like, please, should I already fix it? Why are we still talking about this? So a lot of guys just don't like that annoying feeling. It's like, okay, you tell me what's wrong. I have to talk about it to fix it. Now, to you, inside your head, you wonder what I thinking, but I just can fix the problem. Or like we just we solve problems. I think women is want long division, where guys just do short division. Like
I
anything
agree with
after the
you.
decimal point, that don't matter because I'm the real number. So let me fix what I do
Wow.
it.
No,
That's
I
honestly how
agree
it
with
felt.
you. I agree with you because in my marriage, like my husband, like if we have a disagreement, he immediately goes in his head and he's like, okay, how am I going to fix this? But I don't know. I get agitated now because I don't know what you're thinking, or so I'm like, okay, so what now? Right. But
Yeah.
he has jumped into, okay, so what do I need to do to kind of take care of this problem? So we have to learn, right? We have to learn how each other shows up in the relationship. So for him, it's like, okay, her mind is gonna keep running. So
Hmm.
let me just give her a little fish while
Yeah.
I try
Yep.
fix the situation. And then for me, when he give me that little fish, then I need to say, okay, well, he working on a solution for it. But understanding that we're from different planets, then it means that you just can't leave the woman out there if she brings something to your attention without
Yeah.
saying you fixing it. And I love your honesty because you're so right. Like we go around.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Good man. Might just need some
I got
water.
excited. 1 second.
Hmm.
We go around the bush
Hmm.
instead of being direct because we think we soften in it.
Hmm.
But you're saying that we're not.
No, you're not softening it because the longer you talk, it is like us having this conversation. I could have already thought of different ways to resolve the issue, so we don't have to keep talking about it. Like the whole point is, when you talking a lot, that means there's a problem. I'm trying to get the talking to be a minimum where we don't have a problem. So I think there is a common ground we could get to where instead of just acting, I can say little words to reassure you. But then on the women's end, don't expect me to want to run on like you. I can, so don't expect all that. So I'll say a little bit. You don't expect a lot, so we meet in the middle somewhere. I'm not talking about a lot of stuff. Even in our relationship now, that happens.
Wow.
That does happen,
And
and it's like,
that's our differences.
yeah, because
That's our
she loves to talk, and it'll just be like, babe, I got it. And then she'll actually ask, like, so what you thinking? Like, you don't say nothing. It's like, because I just trying to resolve the issue. Like, I don't, us talking ain't gonna solve nothing. It's just prolonging it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a difference. I don't know why it's like that, but yeah,
okay.
long division and short division. That's all.
Yeah,
I
so
ain't keeping
you gotta
that.
give us a boon though. You gotta give us a boon so we know like a solution is on the way, you know?
Hmm.
And we have to trust you that you're
Hmm.
gonna implement a solution. So I
Hmm.
like this comment here. This young lady, Miss Taylor, is saying that when a man comes into your life and he's really good to you, it makes you want to be a little more feminine. I want to say that this is the first time in a very long time, this relationship that I'm in. Like we have ups and downs, like every other marriage, right?
Hmm.
One of the things that I can say is that having someone that I can lean on
Hmm.
has been, I can't even begin to describe what that means. So it's allowed me to shift out of masculine,
Hmm.
being this independent, go getter, gotta gotta go get all the cheese woman. But the man has to be good to you,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
you know, what's so amazing? The fact that you said that, right? I think there's two major ways. Well, obviously there'll be more variables, but I think in two situations or instances, women will be more in their feminine nature. One, she's just using you to get what she wants because naturally women can get men to do whatever they want just by her being more feminine. That's just naturally how it is. And two, if the woman respects you, they the main two ways I feel like women will definitely show more of their feminine side. Because let's say
Which two again? I heard she using you, and what's the other one?
using you or respects you. It ain't
Okay.
gonna be both.
And can you tell which one
Yeah,
it is?
you can tell. You can tell. Like, you know, like the in certain movies when a woman is just trying to get a guy to do something, she'll like touch the shoulder, change her voice and everything like that. In that sense, she's going more extreme into her feminine nature, the softness and everything like that, but she's doing it with a purpose. Versus a situation where she respects you. So I'm not going to talk to you any type of way. I respect the fact that you may have our best interests at heart, so I can leave the decision making up to you. I know you have my back with. So it's like it's a difference. You don't depend on you won't think the guy who you use and have your back because you weren't thinking that far anyway. You just want to use him for whatever you need him for.
Right.
But the guy you respect, it's going to be a completely different situation with how you treat him too. But the feminine nature comes out in those two situations.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So when she using you, she flowering you up.
Yep. And
And
if
when
she
she
respect you.
respects you,
So it's one or two, but a lot of guys
that,
getting
that
used. But anyway.
that's amazing. And that's amazing. And I wish that every woman could have the benefit of support and not just financial support. Like someone who is there supporting your day to day, your everyday, right?
Hmm.
Miss Taylor is saying that some men will bring out that feminine energy in
Hmm.
you because of how they treat you.
Hmm.
It automatically softens you. Women have power, but men also have power
Yeah.
because if you know that by showing up for her, you operating more on your masculine energy, yet being in vulnerability at times is going to help her settle into her femininity, then
Hmm.
you can use that power as well.
Hmm.
I have a Facebook user who is saying that words create worlds. Powerful,
True. Yeah.
powerful. Raquel, you a mixture of Luther, Long Island, and Exume. Lord help us. What a time here today. I want to share some more of the comments as we go to our
Okay.
next question. Jasmine Taylor is saying that there has to be respect in the differences in communication, especially when it's authentic to the biological makeup of said man and woman. Simply put, women may be more thorough in explanation, whereas men may be shorter. Neither is wrong once it's done with the right intention. Finding a happy medium where both men and women can meet in the middle is beneficial to all.
Hmm.
I
That's true.
agree with that. Yeah. I have another Facebook user saying that that's true and that's definitely going to be a challenge for her. And I
Mm-hmm.
have someone here saying that the Bible tells us to respect our husbands, and
Yeah. Of course, they love their wives. Yep.
uh, husbands are called to love their wives, but not just to love their wives, to love their wives like
The
Christ
Christ loved
loved
the
the
church.
church, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Roseanne or Rosanna. So if we follow those biblical principles and those guidelines, and then Miss Taylor is saying that he has to be a good leader in order for me to let down my masculine energy. And Miss Johnson Roseanne is saying that respect is earned.
Mm-hmm. Tough
So
point.
go ahead. Go ahead.
It's a tough point because, like, for instance, I'm guessing this was referring to when I was saying two different aspects of when women show their femininity. You have some women that there's a guy you really attracted to, just his aura, how he carries himself and stuff like that. You would not outright challenge someone. When you first start talking to him, your voice softer and he ain't heard none of that. You just going off your appearance and what you feel. You know what I mean? So sometimes that could be the case. But in a lot of cases, if a woman find a guy attractive and he seems to exude certain qualities that she likes, she's not going to automatically go challenge him or be masculine in his presence. That's not going to be the case.
Man, listen. That there is something. I watched a video. It was a comedy show I was watching many years ago. It may have even been 10 years ago. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
lady, her name was Simone. And she was
Oh, you mean some more? Yeah, some more. One of
more,
the queen of
yeah.
comedy. Yep.
Yes, and she had this video out there where if you have a dude who could lay it down and he could make your toes curl and he does it all right and he call you and he say, well, where you at? You let him know straight off the bat. Like,
Yep.
I'm in the store, honey, but I'm heading home.
Yep.
If you have a nigga who is rocking the boat right,
Yeah.
he's like,
Lower your voice.
why you asking me where I'm at? So there are a number of
Yeah.
variables that make us respond.
Mm-hmm.
I see Roseanne is saying that he earns it by his leadership because let's be
Mm-hmm.
right, like the man should lead the family. And
Yeah.
there are some instances where men aren't leading. They trust their woman
Mm-hmm.
to lead. And but still it's a partnership, like you spoke about earlier, about allowing her to be a decision maker.
Yeah.
So they've come up with agreements, and I believe that successful relationships are based on pre-established agreements. What will
Mm-hmm.
happen? Who will do what? That sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
Raquel is saying that he commands a room. Now,
Yeah.
Cohen, I want to bring it home to this conversation now because this is
Mm-hmm.
our last question. And it may segue into a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, what makes a man marry a woman over someone that he's dated previously? So let's say you may have been in a relationship with someone for 12 years. You didn't marry her. You come out, you meet someone 6 months later, you marry. Or you may have dated someone, y'all might have been together 3 years, come out that relationship, a year later, you're married. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that makes a man select a wife, in
This
your
is
opinion?
this is interesting because most of the time when I see people ask this question, a lot of times you would hear stuff like, "Oh well, he already have the cow, so why wouldn't he have to buy the milk?" And like different things like that. I think that's how that go. I'm too sure, but um, normally it's blaming the man, like he wasting our time and stuff like that, right? You have a lot of men that fall in love with potential as well. You have a lot of them that do, right? So sometimes you have guys that just waiting to see different changes in this woman before he makes that commitment because I honestly believe things get worse after marriage. When I say that, certain problems you did not even start to work on and you wait until after you get married is multiplied or
Wait, wait,
amplified.
wait. I want to pause for a second. What you're
Hmm.
saying is, because I want to make sure I get this right,
Okay.
because we often hear that women select men who have potential. And if you have
Hmm.
potential and you aren't doing nothing with that potential, that's nothing, right? But are
Hmm.
you saying that men are also identifying potential in women and wanting to cultivate that?
Yeah, because now initially the first thing we go off of is your looks, right? But now when you think about a woman that can take care of the home and everything like that, let's say for instance she can't clean like that, she can't cook like that, but the sex good, made her get along, we have a good friendship and stuff like that. I may be waiting to see if certain things change, especially if I make it known to her, right? So the longer she takes to change these things, I make it a move.
Okay.
So some guys are like that. Others is where they know they ain't really interested in the woman to that point, but they kind of doing what women do at the end of relationships. Like, let's say a woman over a guy or wants to get over a guy, they wouldn't leave the relationship right then. They wait, okay, let me wait till my feelings die a little bit, then I can just leave. Or I
Wow.
love some other guys who on the back burner or something like that. Some guys do the same thing. So they wait until their feelings draw out or until they meet the girl that they really interested in. Some guys are like that, to be
Wow.
honest. You know?
Wow. So
But
we men get game. We think we in there holding on until we ready get our hearts lit right to attach to someone else and move on with that person. And he doing the exact same thing.
yeah,
Wow.
some guys do the exact same thing. And then others is some guys just may not feel like they're ready, to be honest. And a lot of times, you won't ever really know for a fact that you're ready. I don't think there's a 100% feeling, but it's almost like, do you care about this woman? Do you have the desire to protect her? Can you see her as your wife and someone that's growing your kids and everything like that? If you see all those things, then it's almost like, what you waiting on type of thing. You know what I mean? Because now you can always be able to find someone to look better on both sides. Someone may be able to cook better or something like that. But once you find almost like that 80-20 rule, once you find your 80%, some point you have to stop, else you can keep looking. So it varies. Some guys fall in love with potential. Some was never interested in nothing serious from the get go.
But stay with you for years? Like you were serious and you
Yeah,
stay for years?
because think about it. Like, let's say, for instance, we in a relationship for a little while, right? There's no pressure on me to get married. Plus, I doing my dirt. So, and then women know I'm in a relationship, but they ain't really care about the next woman. So they entertaining me in any case.
Wow.
So why would I just leave that when, if I want to be vulnerable, if I have someone that I can talk to or keep me, because the other women might just be there for sex. So some people have people in different categories, even
Man.
if they're in a relationship, to be honest.
Wow.
So it varies. It depends on the guy, you know.
Okay. I see Raquel is saying that that's a great question because that happened to her. He was with a woman and had a baby with her. They were 10 years together. Then he met her and wanted to marry her. Within 3 weeks, he said he did more with her in 1 year than he did with that lady um, in 10 years.
Wow.
And so there are certain things that men look for in a woman when when they want to get
Mm-hmm.
married to that woman, right? I have someone, this is Raquel again, saying that you are so right, sir. There are always people who can do everything better than you. You have to really want it and be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my brother and I were having a conversation, and he was telling me that this is his position that in Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
the mother teaches the daughter the things to do, how to cater to a man and not just sexually, like how to serve him or how to be
Mm-hmm.
attentive to him or like because I don't know if you know how many Bahamian men think they have I don't want to touch that.
Oh Lord.
But these Cuban parents pass down tricks of how to be attentive to this man, how to nurture him, how to move his plate off the table, how to make him feel like a king. So there are certain things that they do to make this man feel so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are there certain things that you really want from a woman that makes you feel really like, okay, this is the one? Like what does she do?
The one I feel the most at peace with, to be honest.
Okay.
I think the
Peace.
most, yeah, the peace, because all women is around at some point or in some way, shape, or form. But the one who ain't gonna talk down to me, when she ain't a bitch about every little thing, everything won't turn into an argument. We could agree to disagree. We could have fun together. We could crack on each other like someone I could literally have as a friend, but also be a lover too. And you're not shortening my life by stressing me out. I think that's really what it is. Now that ain't gonna go across the board. Some guys just love headache. That's
Right.
just they cannot get past the physical. So as long as she fine and she does that for him, that woman dealing with stress. He ain't going nowhere. But for the
Right.
most part, the one that can give me peace. I think
Okay.
that's what really made the difference for me.
What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think women think men want?
In today's age,
Yeah. What do you think
I
women?
think a lot of modern women think men want slaves.
Okay. So they think men want to go to work, do everything to work, come home and
Yeah.
do everything home too.
And I never understand. Not, I know some women go through it, but I've never seen a man post and say, let's say, even with the 50-50 conversation, right? People take that all over the place, but they'll say, oh, you want her to pay off the bills, do all the cooking by yourself, rear children by yourself, clean. What sensible guy is saying that? That's what I really want to ask women. If this man is literally demanding that you pay half the bills, plus he does not help in any other area of the relationship, why are you even with him?
Right.
Why are we even having a conversation?
Right.
I've never seen a post where a man asking for that. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So that just does not make sense to me at all. Like, don't
Right.
even entertain guys who saying that if they are,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So, but I know there are some guys who they'll get in a relationship and then they don't do or help out with certain stuff. Again, you have options. You can leave.
Right.
Some
Right.
guys will just be like that. Same thing with guys. Some women will just be selfish. The only thing that matters to them is their happiness in a relationship. Do not settle for women like that. You know what I mean? So people always have the out. You do not have to stay there and argue with people. If you weren't
Right.
interested in that, fine. Because I know
Right.
I have some philosophies or beliefs that some women, I'm very sure, hate me for, but I really don't care, to be honest. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, before we finish, right? I'll tell you the main one when it comes to the 50-50 thing. When I ask women, okay, if you and your man together, both of y'all working, y'all make around the same salary, right? What are you doing with your money if he pays all the bills? Most of the time, I'll get, well, I save in for us and this and that, right? I say, fine, but let's be realistic here. If, God forbid, something happens and y'all have to split, that's savings that you have. Are you splitting half of that with the man when you leave? No. So don't tell me that savings BS, because now the same money you using to save, I mean, you weren't touching that. The same money you could give the bills, you weren't touching that either. So why both of us can save and pay bills together? We still have money together. We have money separately, so you don't have to come to me. I don't have to come to you if you want personal stuff or whatever, right? We still taking care of our household together because it's our relationship. So I never understood what the issue is. And then I heard women say, oh, what I can do by myself. If you're paying $1,000 on rent, you get with a man, y'all moving together, right? Now, he paying half, you paying half. Let's say the bill is 1,000. That's $500 you saving. That's $6,000 you saved in that year, but you growing worse by yourself. That makes, like, that's what I mean. They just emotional responses. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people decide that, hey, this is how it's supposed to be because now this benefits me. Even when it comes to the leader discussion, a leader isn't someone who does everything. One of the strengths of a leader is picking out, hey, you have a strength in this. You better than me in this. I'll delegate you handle this. You know what I mean? So a lot of times where in a household where a husband may not be strong or something, but he notice, hey, my wife is very good at that. I don't care if it seems like, oh well, I being emasculated. What can benefit us? She's better at that. If she wants to teach me how to do it, then fine. But I let her deal with that. You know what I mean? So it's anyway. I can run
Yeah,
on
and
all day.
that's no, but that's about having a team approach. And I think a
Hmm.
team approach is what helps marriages and relationships to be
Hmm.
successful, right? Let's just be real. How many men out there have it like that to say, hey, I come in to throw down, pay all your rent, pay all your bills. Like a lot of these dudes out there, like let's just be real, they have average jobs just like so many other women. A lot of
Man.
them struggling, a lot of them have responsibilities. So the number of men, the percentage of men that are at the position where they could pay everything is it's really small. It's
Hmm.
really, really small. So that's again where conversation and agreements have to come into play and
Yeah.
understand like, okay, I could carry 60% of this, or I pay this and you pay all the rest of these.
Hmm.
But it has to be where we're working together, that we're working together for the benefit of the relationship.
Yeah. A lot of them don't even be thinking about the next question is what type of lifestyle we want.
Correct. And these are
Because
all
I,
important
yeah,
questions.
like I can pay for everything, but
Right,
hey, you're getting no vacation a month. Like no, that we basically in a generation now where they believe luxury is supposed to be normal. Then it's not luxury anymore. If
right.
everyone has it, it's not luxury.
Correct.
You know, so
Correct.
it's ridiculous, man.
Correct. So I see Raquel saying that she watched her mom and her dad. Her mom is the best example. She chilled his glasses, bears, and served him. She didn't complain. She always put him first. His food was taken up first. She still worked and helped to bring home the bacon. That's nice. And so Miss Taylor is saying that she is seeing and she is hearing it, Cohen. This
Mhm.
generation is really something different. But yes, I agree with you. Like social media has also influenced us a lot as it relates to
Oh,
what we
yeah.
want out of relationships. Some of us want to be in relationships, to floss relationships on social media. Some of us want to be in relationships with somebody to take care of us. I mean, there are so many reasons why people get into relationships outside of love, and this is male and
I'm seeing that.
female,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
It's not gender specific,
No.
but it's, people look to form attachments, like you said, for
Mhm.
their benefit. Best relationships, though, are built on agreements and about being realistic. Let's be realistic about this life. Now, I heard people talk about, I mustn't have it, right? But
Mhm.
let me just tell you, like, my husband will be the first person to tell you how frugal I am. Because frugal doesn't mean that I'm cheap.
No, just
Frugal
responsible.
means that I'm responsible.
Hmm.
And so let's just say we want to go on vacation. I'm not going to up and say, let's go next week. That's going to be next year. And
Hmm.
we gradually, we're going to put aside
Yeah.
so that when the time comes, we can both enjoy this vacation.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we went away the other day, and because I've been gradually putting money aside, nobody needed to take money off their bank account because the money was gradually placed there. So you have it available. So it's
Hmm.
about having strategies to
Yeah.
help you do certain things. And the idea that we have about how rich people live, like we just, is like rich people don't live the way that we believe rich people live, right? And
Yeah.
relationships.
Like we need to stop taking on the negative aspects of relationships from America.
Yes.
We really
Agree.
need to because
And
it's
TV, influences from
yeah, like
TV. Yes,
it's
absolutely.
ridiculous, man.
So Miss
It-
Taylor says that teamwork makes the dream work. And I have Jasmine saying to answer for what women really think generally.
mhm.
Women think men want an attractive woman, nurturing, financially intelligent woman, a great mother, educated or not, an emotionally intelligent woman, to say the least. Attainable but unrealistic expectations when a man isn't providing the same things. We
Mhm.
men and women literally want the same things, just altered a bit, but we want the same things. And I think every woman wants peace, just like how
Mhm.
every man wants peace. It's about the coming together
Mhm.
and having these conversations about your values, having these conversations about, Cohen, like, what do you believe about money?
Mhm.
Cohen, what do you believe about a family? Cohen, what do you believe? And whatever Cohen say,
Mhm.
believe it and don't try to change it. But that's what we want.
Yep. Women need to listen to what men say and don't say. Because a lot
Correct.
of women in relationships that man never agreed to. He never brought up relationship. He never brought up seeing you and him together. He never brought up marriage, anything like that. But you claiming this man and saying, "Oh, this your man." Stop it. If he didn't say it straight out, don't take it upon
Don't
yourself.
assume
To
it.
say, no, he just don't want to say it. Don't do
Right.
that. You can hurt
Don't
yourself.
assume it.
Don't
Yeah.
assume nothing.
Yeah. So
A
Miss
lot
Taylor
of
is
like that.
saying that a lot of people aren't looking for love, they're looking for help. And Jasmine said that, we want the
Yeah, yeah,
respect on
respectful
both
too. Yeah,
sides.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
and this
true.
has been such an interesting conversation
Yeah, man.
talking about love and romance. We're talking about what makes a man choose a woman for a wife. I'm a submissive woman. I'm a traditional woman, but I'm also an out of the box woman. So I
Mhm.
have an issue with the fact that the man chooses the wife, right? Because she
Mhm.
is there with him for forever, waiting for him to pose this question. And like you say, she has the power to leave. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, the man is the one that says, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah.
It's in his responsibility, it's in his role to
Mhm.
offer marriage. So I have someone on Facebook, Raquel, saying, preaching, and I have Danny saying plenty woman claiming man, and the man just introduced them as their friend.
Yeah.
Man, what a time. Great conversation. And y'all need to stop sleeping with people, man.
Oh Jesus.
That's it there. That's what I'm gonna say. So let's wrap up our conversation now, Cohen. And let's any final words of
Oh
encouragement that you would
Jesus.
like to give the women watching our show tonight. What would you tell
Hmm.
them about showing up as their authentic selves and owning their power in the relationship, choosing to stay or leaving?
Um, I would say a lot of sensible guys understand why women would like push for a relationship. You know, especially with the eternal clock that women have. You know, a certain amount of years to be able to have kids if you don't have kids yet, or just having that security. And like my heart goes out to women in that aspect. But if you force someone to get in a relationship with you, you cannot force them to stay either. They still can do whatever they feel like doing. You know, so I would say display or show your true self in stages because nobody wants to be completely vulnerable with a stranger or someone you just getting to know. Don't ignore signs. Ask questions. There's nothing wrong with bringing up if the person is interested in marriage on a first date. No, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that you're getting you expect the man to propose soon or whatever, but don't be scared to bring up certain points. Um, yeah, and just try your best not to be aggressive, man. I think that's the main thing. How you talk to someone really means a lot. And just from having female friends, a lot of women who don't have a lot of female friends is because they're honest. Women who have all like a plethora of female friends, they lie to each other a lot. They sugarcoat a lot. So a lot of their friends can't handle when they say, "Hey, girl, you doing this or this don't look good." They catch feelings and then they leave the friendship or y'all doing friends no more. You know, so I would say watch out for that too. Anybody who's switching friends a lot, that ain't someone you need to be around. So
Wow.
I know that's a lot, but yeah.
That's some really, really good advice, you know. I just believe if we showed up more as our authentic selves and let people see us for who we truly are instead of the pretenses and putting on, let people see the heart of who we are as individuals, like you say, gradually over time, which is
Mhm.
why dating is so important. We don't really date in the true sense of dating here in the Bahamas. We go on 2 dates and we're in a
Yeah,
relationship.
because there's feelings involved.
Yeah, but dating is more about getting to know the individual, taking the time to see who this person is, not just hearing who this person is saying that they are, but actually having the opportunity to witness them in action because people show us. People
Mhm.
show us who they are based on what they do. And when they show us who they are, we then now have a choice to accept
Yeah.
that that's the type of person that we're going to be in a relationship with or to say, this isn't what I want for my life. I want to wrap our conversation up by saying this everyone should choose for themselves the kind of relationship that they want to be in. There are people in relationships and in marriages today because their friends have influenced them, their family members have influenced them, they've been influenced by the fairy tales,
Yeah.
they're staying in it because the children and all of these different reasons why they're in these relationships. I believe that we need to discover what we want to
Mhm.
be in a relationship for. And whatever that is, remain true to that. So if you are in a relationship and you're the breadwinner and the dude there and he cleaning the house and he taking care of the children and that's what you want, then whatever Susie them say, you happy. So
Yeah.
who cares? Like it's a partnership. And if he chooses to, if y'all have come to that conclusion that that's what he is going to do, then that's what's making you happy.
Hmm.
You know, when I got with my husband, I had people say, oh, well, your husband, he's a taxi driver. Well, sweetie, he has a transportation company. He's not a taxi driver, right? But that's not the point. The point is, that's my choice.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's something
Hmm.
that he's giving me.
Yeah. That's the truth.
So that's it.
Hmm.
Choose for you and be happy with your standard and don't be influenced by others.
I think that'll make a great conversation for another time. Standards versus preferences. I think there's a difference. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And maybe we'll do a part two. But
Yeah,
thank you so much, Cohen. Thank you so much to your beautiful fiance for giving you the opportunity to sit here for this hour and
boy.
share.
I'm the
Yes,
cat. The
girl.
cat too. The cat too.
Yeah, the cat. Yeah, the cat. The cat was like, I gonna be up in this. And my auntie saying he has a transportation service and professional and a good one. They ain't gotta worry with my good man, child. They ain't gotta worry about that. As long as I happy, I like going. Like I don't care. Like I don't really care. Last night I was sick as a dog on the floor, and who was in the bathroom with me? I see a man cleaning me up. So I don't worry about people. Be true to who you are and what you are about. Go and stay behind for me, please. Let me just
No
close out the
problem.
show. Everyone, thank you so very much for your comments. Thank you very much for your engagement in today's discussion. If you like the video, make sure share it. If you like this live, share it for other people to also be able to hear it, get some insight, and share their comments as well. We will be back with another Evolving Women Safe Space conversation in 2 weeks, and I look forward to seeing you then. Look out for the details. Take care, guys. God bless you all. Bye bye.